Santa Barbara Baker here, blazing up another classic pizza. It's thin and crispy mushroom pizza time. That's what we're covering on this episode. I mean, a classic mushroom pizza. How can you go wrong? It's the neighborhood pizza joint staple. But here at Santa Barbara Baker, we like to pay attention to every step of the process. So I change it up a little bit, but train super true to those OG vibes. Let's start with the mushrooms, the most important part on a mushroom pizza. Go to the pizzeria, what they often do, they just have the mushrooms, possibly kind of schwinkle bob sometimes. I'm not going to lie, some of those mushrooms, I'm like, I might pass, but I love a shroom pie. So today, though, we're giving a little better treatment to gussy these things slightly up. Really, it's more so you don't have a bunch of water on the pizza and you can really get that shroom flavor. How do I like to do it? I roast those shrooms ahead of time. These were just sliced, roasted in the oven. I have a whole video showing you how I do that. Mushrooms, 2 ways. I got the fancy treatment. This is the not fancy treatment, but they're still, these are still kind of luxe. They taste headies, super bomb. That roast though, they've already kind of shrunk down. They're seasoned now, less moisture in them. All great things for a successful thin and crispy pizza. Keeping with the classic pizza joint, neighborhood pizza shop vibes, I like to hit it with, usually the sauce there probably has maybe some garlic, some onions cooked down it. I just use my basic tomato sauce up on the blog and just tomatoes rolled up with some salt, and I'll just season directly on the pizza, hitting it with, today I got some shallots, maybe a little bit fancies, and some sliced garlic. Just gonna hit that on the bottom along with some oregano, just some crushed up oregano, headies. Well, you'll see. We'll bake this pizza together. I'm going to get that dough all stretched out. I'm going to show you how I build this thing. We're going to build and bake the classic mushroom pizza. It's a thin and crispy vibe today on this episode of Pizza Time. Got my natty dough all stretched out. My dough recipes up on santabarbarabaker.com. Up on the blog, I got the whole guide on there. By guide, I mean, it's just like, that's a starting point. Make it your own. Play around with different stuff in there. Today, this is from a batch where I went really low on the starter. It's only about 8% in here. I feel like the dough maybe could have used some more fermentation, but I baked some pizzas up on it. Came out pretty good. So for these thin and crispies, I'm always going for just kind of like a light slick of sauce here. Going pretty minimal, but I want enough that it weighs down enough of the pizza. And just, every bite has a good amount of sauce in there, but definitely going a little bit on the lighter side. Pizza like this, gonna go straight in, like I was saying, that pizza parlor kind of like neighborhood slice shop vibes. Instead of cooking the oregano down in the sauce, I'm just going directly onto the sauce on the pizza, keeping it simple. That way too, you're having a pizza party or something, you can make different varieties of pizza throughout the night. Just changing up that sauce just right on the pizza. Along with that, always, garlic's in regular rotation around here, but that garlic and onion flavor on a pizza like this, I feel really makes it. I got some shallots here. You could go onion, whatever you want, or even skip the onions, but I like that's like, you've seen my like little more fancy luxe treatment of the mushrooms. Shallots and garlic, always such a good pair with the shrooms. So we're doing it here. We're not fancies, but it still should be pretty good. All right, that looks good. I mean, it could have been distributed maybe a little bit better. We're going with a cheese blend today. I got some fresh mozz. I just diced it up along with some Havarti today just to change it up. Havarti might not be a classic pizza cheese, but your cheeses don't have to be classic to be good on a pizza. Havarti melts really well. It's pretty rich too, which I like. It browns up in a nice way. So little variety. I like variety, my fans. Or fanners, if you guys ever been on PT, that's where that comes with the PH for any of you fish fans out there, the fanners. All right, getting this thing built up before I get too sidetracked. Let's go on here with the cheese, looking pretty good. Right into the shrimps. These are my shrimps that I roasted off in a nice hot oven, quickly seasoned, pretty simply, some salt, pepper, a little bit, actually I snuck a little sherry vinegar in there too. Gonna get this loaded up pretty fat. We're gonna bake this thing off thin and crispy in the uni. I got the uni cranked up all the way right now, but before I load, I'll turn it down. We're not going ultra low quite yet. I'm gonna load, on that low zone, bake a couple turns, hit that ultra low for the finish. I'm gonna get this thing, you know what, I'm gonna hit it with a little olive oil too. Never forget that. We'll get this loaded up into the uni, we'll watch it bake. It's pizza time. Getting our classic mushroom pizza all loaded into the Koda 16. I'm always preheating super hot, then I just turned it down just to the normal low zone for the first part of the bake, and then we'll go ultra low to finish it off, going for a little thin and crispy vibes here. I'm just making sure final stretch, this is all looking good to me. Any last little topping adjustments? All right, let's get it in before it sticks. All right. We're soul baking today. We don't have the timer. We're shooting for, 3 to 4 minute bake. That's my standard Santa Barbara bake. Going for kind of like a hybrid style. I want a crispy bottom, but also some nice leoparding, a nice puffy crust. So, but still with that thin and crispy vibe. That's kind of what we're going for today. It's the classic mushroom pizza. So far, so good. Looking about 30 seconds in as I'm starting to see the cheese melt for that first turn. Let me see here, looking pretty good. I'm thinking about it. You don't want to go in too soon because you rip it too late, it'll start burning. But I'm thinking it's about time here. I see that leoparding popping up. Let's go in for a turn. All right, on to the second part of it here. We're gonna do a couple turns in just the normal low zone, getting that initial oven spring, the leoparding going, and then we'll turn it down clockwise past the max point of the oven into that ultra low zone to finish this off for the extra crispy bake. But man, that crust is popping up really nice. Gonna go in here for another turn. Look at that, looking pretty good. I mean, a little bit crispy there, but that's what we're going for. We want it nicely brown, but never burnt. Bottom's looking really nice. Okay, now is when I'm thinking about going into that ultra low zone. I'm going for it here. Up to that max point, the lightning bolt moving quickly into the ultra low zone to finish this thing off. Shooting for, we're soul baking, but the 3 to 4 minute bake here. Let's take a look. Looking pretty good. I turn it back around here because I just noticed that corner up here is a little bit light, so we'll get it closer. That back of the oven is really hot, so that'll just, if you're not getting as much browning, get it where it's the hottest spot. This, of course, up by the mouth, we're running a little bit cooler. That's the difficulty when you're going for these longer bakes, is as the oven cools, it's not even, so make sure you're turning that pizza. All right, the classic mushroom pizza looking pretty headies to me. A little bit, could use some more color here as we finish up. I'm gonna take a look at this bottom. Oh, it's looking nice, browning up nicely. We're in the home stretch here, I think. Just looking for making sure that that crust is all the way baked through. I don't like a raw pizza. I don't like a dried out pizza either, so hitting that sweet spot. All right, taking a look here. I think we're almost there on this. I'm gonna let that other end kind of finish up. Peeking at the bottom here. Looking good. It's like nice little spotting underneath there. No, sometimes when that crust is a little heavy and cold, maybe it hits the edge, burns a little bit. It's not looking like it this time, so that's all really good stuff. This is finishing up here. You can just pull it out, take a little look. I feel like that looks light. I don't know, that might have been a little weird, dry out spot from the fermentation. I'm not really sure on that. We'll take a look after it gets out of the oven, but I'm thinking this thing is about done. Take one last little peek here. I'm still thinking that back little part will give it a little bit longer. I'm gonna pull this thing out in a second. I can smell that oregano just perfuming up. I love that. Putting the flavors right there in the sauce, the garlic and the little bit of shallot in there. All right, are we thin and crispy here yet? Pretty close. Maybe one more little turn here. Making sure that this thing's baked through. We don't want a soggy pie. Looking pretty good. I got the oven turned all the way down in that ultra low zone. That's how I like to always almost finish my pies, unless I'm going for that super OG Neapolitan style. But let's get this thing out of here before it burns. I think let's call it. All right, look at this thing. Pretty good sized pizza. I'm maxing it out here. Looking really nice, a little puffy crust, some mixed leoparding, all great things. The classic mushroom pizza onto the rack. Let it hang out here. as we always do, you've done all the hard work getting that crispy bottom. You want to let it set. Make sure it crisps up, goes right on the plate. It's just going to steam. I'm going to let it hang out here, slice it up. We'll meet you at the table. Give the classic mushroom pizza a taste. It's shrooms. It's heady. It's pizza time. Wow, this one has the whole place, the whole neighborhood perfuming like a pizza shop. It baked up overall pretty good, I'll say. It's got that classic pizza parlor smell with that garlic, the oregano hitting that sauce when it all gets all hot in the Ooni oven. Perfuming out, smells so delicious. Let's pick it up, take a look. I got the mushrooms on here. You know, we're going for the classic kind of pizza joint vibe, but we, roasted them up so they didn't dump a bunch of water on the pizza. Check out that video, my mushroom 2 ways. Let's check out the bottom here. This looks pretty good. It's loaded with those shrooms. We went pretty thin here. Maybe could have baked a little crispier. The crust, though, it's looking pretty good to me. Can't wait to take a bite of this thing. It smells so delicious. Here we go. This one is so delicious. I love just a simple mushroom pizza. That is one of my go-to pizza shop orders. Just, a plain pie with some shrooms on it. This one's got that vibe. It's super dank. The dough tastes really good. My dough recipe's up on santabarbarabaker.com. I'm always playing around with it like I was mentioning here. But this one tastes delicious. It's tender, has good flavor. The cheese all melted. The oregano perfuming along with the garlic. A little shallot snuck in there too. The fire mode shrooms. The crust is super light today. I'm into it. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. How do you like your shroom pies? Keep making pizza, telling your friends. Santa Barbara Baker. I'm Santa Barbara Baker on Instagram, where I'm always baking up the firemost pizzas. Love you all. Keep dreaming that pizza, making that pizza. One love.